There is a quote by Dr. Harry Fosdak saying, "Great living starts with a picture in your imagination of what you'd like to be." So this exercise is another type of mental imagery exercise, but focuses more on who you'd like to be or who you want to be. So previously, I know that we incorporate exercises focusing on your injury. So the day you got injured, picturing the place, the exact moment, whatever activity you were doing, and then changing that outcome. So this exercise is more so going to focus on where you see yourself and how you want to be, where you portray yourself, whether it's in 6 months, 9 months to a year, and the activity that you see yourself that you love doing. The reason that you chose to do this ACL surgery, the reason that you chose to go on this journey after all, is to get back to the things that you love to do. So, without further ado, this is how this exercise will begin. I'll go into some details, and then after we go over everything, I will wrap it back up by giving you the main points of it. So this way you can get started right away. This exercise will start similarly to any other mental imagery type exercise. I want you to carve out ideally 30 minutes a day. I understand that could be a lot for some of you. So even if we start with 5 minutes a day, I have a feeling that if you commit to this 5 minutes every day, I think you will start to do it more and more. Really, some of the data shows that 5 minutes a day can start to begin change. 15 minutes a day, you will start to see very, very large changes in the way you see yourself, and 30 minutes a day has shown to have extraordinary changes in someone's life. So, um, get in a comfortable chair, um, get in a quiet place where you know you will not be disturbed. And ideally, I would love for you to do this around the same time each day. So whether it's in the morning that you feel like you have the most quiet time, or sometime in the midday, nobody's in the house or you're alone, or at night when everybody's sleeping, whatever it may be, try to find that same place and the same time. So this way your body and your mind gets adjusted to the activity. Once you find that place, I want you to get as comfortable as you can. We're going to start the same way as we would do any other exercise where we would take controlled breath. Ideally, I like to inhale for 6 seconds, hold the breath for about 2, and then exhale for about 7. So I do 2 of those controlled breaths, and then I just want you to get into a normal breathing pattern, and then I want you to close your eyes. Once you close your eyes, I want you to scan your body for any tension, starting from your feet and then working your way up. So from your foot and ankle to your calves, to your thighs, hips, back, chest, out to the arms, and then up to the neck and the head. And then try to relax everything. Let everything go. Get nice and comfortable. Once you feel like you're in a good place, I want you to start with a past memory. So, for example, let's say if your activity is skiing, right? I want you to go back in your past a little bit. Think about a moment where you had on the slopes. Think about what mountain you were in, who you were with, what time of year it was, what the weather was like, just that experience. I want you to relive it. And I want you to relive it so much so that it brings a smile to your face because it was a great day after all, right? Whether it was the way you skied, whether it was the company you were with, just the moment in time. So I want you to think of that moment so much so that it makes you smile, that it brings you chills a little bit, it brings goosebumps a little bit. So I want you to sit in that. Take a minute or two, really try to take those details out. Okay? Once you find that moment, now we're going to future pace it. Meaning, um, now I want you to think about where you are in space now, right? So you're going through your recovery process, wherever it may be, and whatever your goal is. So let's say it's 9 months from now, you're going to be on a mountain, or you have a scheduled trip that you normally take every year with your friends and family. Um, so let's go there. So think about, did you rehab? You're nice and strong, you're confident, and you are gearing up, getting ready to go on your trip. So you can start with literally the car ride going there and who you're with and relive and try to think of that moment and how that car ride is going to go. The more details, the better. So whatever car you're taking, the seat that you're sitting in, who's driving, what the music is playing, really try to live that experience. Then, for example, let's say if you rented a house, walking to the house, looking at the environment of the house, the living room, what's on the walls, any paintings, the room that you're staying in for, let's say, the week or the few days that you're there. I want you to picture all that. Okay? Wake up the next morning, you start to get your gear on, and start with your socks, your pants, your snow pants, your jacket, your gloves, your hat, your helmet, everything. Start gearing up within the routine. So if you do have a normal routine, I want you to kind of relive that routine as you're getting dressed and getting ready to go. Driving to the mountain, what's that going to feel like? You may have some nerves and jitters, but there should be happy thoughts of happiness, smiles. I want you to, again, the more details, the better, up until getting your skis on and going to the trail lift. Like, I want that whole journey pictured, getting on the trail lift, who you're sitting next to, the way up from the trail lift. Yes, again, there may be some nerves there, but it should be confidence, right? You should have enthusiasm. You should have thoughts of positivity and how awesome it's going to be to ski for the first time again. And then getting off the chairlift, going down the whole trail, picturing whatever trail it may be as successful as you can make it. So that whole picture, right? And that's why I say, 30 minutes is great, because you could really outline each and every step. But even if you have 5 minutes, you can start to kind of relive it. And I think the more and more you do it, the better it'll be. You're going to have moments where your mind gets lost in space. You're going to have moments where you start to think negative thoughts. That's okay. It's going to happen. Just reset, take another breath, and then put yourself back in that place. All right, and just to recap, this activity should be done once a day. Give yourself at least 5 minutes. Preferably, I want you to stretch it out to 30. Couple main points. I'd like you to do this at the same time each day, whether it's in the morning or night or midday, whenever you feel like you have quiet time and you have time to yourself. Next, I want you to be sitting in the same chair, ideally, if you can make that work. Same place, so this way it reminds your mind, your body, the activity that you're doing, and it starts to become more of what we call, quote unquote, muscle memory. So you know that you're preparing your body to go through this experience. How we start is get yourself nice and relaxed, a couple controlled breaths, just try to breathe into it. Do a little tension check, start from your feet, work your way up to your head. Once you do that, we're going back to a past memory that was an awesome experience with this particular activity. I want you to relive that, as many details as you can get. Once you relive that and you feel good about it and you actually put yourself there, then we're going to future pace. So we are going to relive that first awesome moment back to that activity. And the most important thing about this is as many details as you can get. So, like I was saying previously, if it's skiing, I want you to picture, the car ride there. I want you to picture the mountain. I want you to picture the cabin that you're staying in. I want you to picture the company that you're with. Then that day, I want you to picture yourself getting dressed to get skiing, getting to the mountain, the first trail lift, and then the first trail down. Every detail. And I want you to picture it as successful and as a beautiful experience as possible. So this way you can actually sit and live in that moment and smile about it. That is the most important part of this exercise. Give it a try. And of course, any questions at all, let me know.